Recorded live in New York City, the writing capital of the world. Welcome to the Virtual Writers Room with Israel Savage. Yes, and. Now, we've talked about yes, and in all kinds of ways. And I love yes, and because you can take it to so many levels. But today I want to talk about yes, and for the people who might have heard yes, and often. And we might have forgotten how we can apply it to this process in a very basic way. And so let's start with what, just on the surface, yes, and is. On the surface, what is yes, and? What is it to you?
I'm just going to guesstimate, but isn't it more receiving the information and any additional information that you may add on or see from a different perspective, looking at it as a whole, more as like an add-on to, get to wherever it is that you're going. So like the yes ands is, I agree with what you're saying, yes and, or
yes,
like an additional adding on of information.
There's a receiving, there's an acknowledgement that happens, and that's the yes part. A receiving and acknowledgement. Okay, yes, got it. Message received. And then there's something that becomes more in what was just given to you, whether it's words or emotions. Something expands because you allow it to affect you and go through you, and then you present it back, whatever it is. Anybody else want to jump in with yes and how it applies to, say, improvisation scenes? I think that's how many of us are most familiar with that concept. Yeah.
Yes, and I think it advances the action. When you agree to something, you can explore it further, whereas negating shuts down possibilities.
Yeah, right. So we all know what that feels like. I've spoken to kids who are very young, but especially around the age of 9 and 10, and worked with them in different ways, including with improvisation and with business executives who are seniors. And everybody, when I ask this question, can relate. When I say, have you ever been at school or in a meeting and had an idea that you proposed and then had someone shoot it down? How did that feel? Oh, we can't do that. Oh, we've done that before. Oh, that's a dumb idea. Oh, we don't have the budget for that. How does that feel? There's a shrinking that happens. We withdraw. There's a withdrawal. Why would I give you my idea? Why would I put it out there just to be met with that? There's a withdrawing that happens, and there's a negating. Now, it doesn't mean that there's not a time and place to edit ideas, but not in the brainstorming session, not when someone is first putting it out there. Then it's just, yes, we could do that, and maybe we could do this, and what if we did this? And then when we've got enough material to work with, then we can start editing and saying, okay, from all of these, what if we did this? And maybe we could do this. So that's, on the surface, that's, in general, the idea of yes and. It expands, it nurtures, it creates space. Yes and. And so why am I talking about yes and in a course where we are writing a screenplay in 3 weeks? Well, many reasons. The reason I want to focus on today is the idea of yes as acceptance. Yes as acceptance. So often, and this is the way it should be, we experience something we don't want, and it clarifies what we do want, and we have a strong desire for something. In this case, it may be to write a screenplay. Write a screenplay in 3 weeks, but it could be anything. It could be, a new job, a new career. It could be falling in love. It could be a new car. It could be anything. There's a desire there, and there can be a discontent that develops. And again, that's part of the natural process if we keep our focus on what we don't have. And so the trick here is to realize, wow, okay, I've got this desire. This is what I want. And then to take a moment and acknowledge where you are and accept where you are. Accept it. Here's where I am. And it's okay where I am. And here are the things that I like about where I am. I can find the seeds of the thing I want in where I am. and start to grow. Say yes, start to find agreement from where you are. And now we often say that this creative guidance, we've called it your future self, your greater self, this place, this resource, this ultimate resource that we have for all this unlimited creativity, unlimited characters that we have, knows exactly how to get us from where we are to where we want to be, in spite of our own doubt and disbelief and resistance, in spite of our own blocks. And there's never any block that we have except the one that we put there. Nothing else exists. There is no block. Our greater self, our future self, whatever we want to call that, 100% of the time can get us from where we are to where we want to be. And it doesn't care about anything else. It's just like a GPS, just like a GPS. However, like any GPS and any dating app, in order to find your matches, first, the dating app or the GPS, in order to find your desires, has to know where you are. Where is your location? And you can't fool it. You can't, or you probably can. I don't know. There probably is a way to fool those dating apps, but in essence, it doesn't serve you to fool it. It doesn't serve you to fool it. So be honest about where you are and be okay with it. This is where I am, and this is part of the process. And let me accept, here's where I am, and let me accept where I am, because it's temporary. And let me find the seeds from where I am of what I want and and where I want to be. And so what does this mean? So you don't feel like writing. You don't feel like writing. It's okay. You got to accept that. That's where I am. You can't be anywhere other than where you are. And so accept where you are. This is where it is. It's okay. It's temporary. What do I feel like doing? Start there. What would make me happy in this moment? Go do that thing. Go do that thing. I don't feel like writing. Okay. Maybe I can, and maybe I do just feel like sitting in my writing space. Okay. So I'm just going to go sit in my writing space, right? That's easy. I can go sit in my writing space. That's easy. No, I don't have to write. I'm going to sit in my writing space. And you know what? I'm going to sit here and I'm just going to do my 3 points of contact exercise. All right. And see how it goes. Okay, I did it. And I'm going to connect with my screenplay. I can at least do that. That only takes a second. Connect with my screenplay and imagine the feelings of having this thing done. Ooh, you know, I'm starting to feel a little inspired. Let me connect with my totems. Oh, I'm starting to feel something, hear something. What if I just start typing? What might happen? Do you see how we take it easy on ourselves? Although I've never cooked a lobster, I hear it's a little like cooking a lobster. Or the water gets warmer and warmer and warmer. And I know all the vegans and vegetarians are hating that analogy. So help me come up with a different analogy. But it's like a bath. You get into your bath and you start to warm it up. While you're in there. Before you know it, you're all wrinkled, your skin's all wrinkled, and you're a little red or a little redder than you were before. And so the idea here is don't beat yourself up because you don't feel like doing something. Accept where you are. Know that accepting where you are doesn't mean that you have to stay where you are. But the surest way to put distance between what you want and where you are is to not accept where you are, to beat yourself up for not being somewhere other than where you are right now. Your GPS wouldn't do that. Hey, here I am in Times Square, and I'd like to go to 135th Street. Oh, I'm sorry, that's too big a trip for you. You always get lost. Always. I remember last time I gave you directions and you didn't take them. And so I'm done. That's just too much for you to handle. Sorry. Your GPS just doesn't work that way. It's calculating. You take a turn that's different than what your GPS does. And what does it do? Recalculating from where you are to where you want to be always. You'll always get there. But don't discount that important first step. That's saying yes to yourself. That's saying yes to where you are. Saying yes isn't just acknowledging where you are. It's being okay with it. It's okay. It's okay. Soothe yourself. Let's see if we can soothe ourselves more than we beat ourselves up. Let's just start there. Let's see if we can tip the scales just a little bit. You don't have to become someone right away who 100% of the time soothes yourself. But can you soothe yourself a little more than you beat yourself up? Just to start with, and see if we can start to tip the scales in that direction, right? Go easy on yourself.
If you liked the video you just saw, click on the link below to find out more about our virtual sketch writers room. You'll interact with writers from around the world, from the comfort of your living room, while you advance your professional writing career. For more information, go to instudios-nyc.com/VWR and MakeTVwithIN. We'll see you there.